AskReddit by Zombie Pimester. Steve Irwin has you pinned down in a headlock. What cool facts does he tell the audience about you and your habitat? Oh, look at this fella. He's of the hairless variety. Rare and silky smooth to the touch. He actually likes when you rub his head. Look at his leg going. Got a good laugh imagining Steve Irwin giving scritches to a bald man on the head. Thanks mate. Wow. Get a load of this Sheila. I can imagine this one spending all of her free time sleeping in her little hidey hole, only coming out 5 times a week to spend hours at a place where she probably regrets being at in the first place, and she'll do this most weeks of her life all the way up until she dies. This one's pretty big for a female too. Bigger than most average males actually. Don't think that gives her any luck during the mating season, laughs in Australian. But she'll find a fella who loves every bit of air. Just you watch. Deleted. Hagrid. This one right here can put up a fight if you put a bold Cheetos within the area. Good thing is that this bloke is actually calm because he ate a full bowl of Cheetos. I find it easiest to subdue one of these little fellas by withholding a local treat, empty dew, till it settles down and plays nice. Awesome question. This unusually large example of his species is known to consume enormous quantities of cheese in one sitting. He is a very stealthy creature, with the ability to sit in one spot at a computer for up to 8 hours at a time. Edit. This number has been drastically reduced since the introduction of mate and offspring into the nest. Do you just like grab a cheese block and chow down? Crikey. This animal lives in a dilapidated bachelor pad and is capable of eating his weight in pudding over a weekend. Edit. Thanks for the gold and the little angel thinge. Deleted. Crikey. This is the biggest Chinese I've ever seen. At a whopping 6 feet 3 inches and 210 pounds, this bugger has a nasty habit of eating all his brother's food. Camera pans to my anemic brother. Fascinating. This creature diet consists of almost all caffeinated beverages. And would you give a whiff of the stench coming from his bathroom? It seems this little creature eats so little fiber that its shits come out as an earthy, putrid gaseous substance. This big guy is quite greasy due to his natural habitat of an engine bay. I believe he is extremely angry due to the loss of all his 10mm sockets. 10mm sockets are a lie propagated by Snap-on marketing department. He's getting quite angry when he's getting poked with a stick. Pokes me with a stick. Dude, fuck off. Nasty fella. Oh, this fine specimen was a hard one to catch. Now, let's look at her. As you can see, changes make her stressed and anxious, thus more aggressive. If provoked, she'll attack on sight. She has the appetite of a great white. She's an omnivore, but eats meat more willingly. One off thing about her diet is that she loves broccolis. She eats anything that's prepared with them. This creature is an easy one to spot, always in the same spot on the sofa, most commonly seen with either Reddit or Animal Crossing. This lad drinks too much. Steve, as you can see, this poor fella's diet consists mostly of Jack Daniels, which makes him relatively harmless in the wild. Poke you jacks again with a stick. The sad creature tries to fight back with a wave of the arms, then gives up. This makes the boy relatively armless, so if ya see him in the wild, don't be scared, just wave your arms about to confuse him like this. The sudden arm waving causes Jax again to vomit and roll over, defeated. We have an indigenous person to the Americas out of his reconstructed habitat. They were contained to a small portion of land only for this bugger to free himself from such limited space and find himself tangled in debt. She's a little shy but we got her. Feed her some sugary breads and she'll calm right down even with a temper. Now her primary predator is a spider. Once they see her they go right for her. In response she will aggressively scream at it until another of her species comes by to kill it. This one has been known to scream for at least 5 minutes straight even in the middle of the night. As you may have noticed, I caught this one on her own. That's because she screams at spiders while her neighbors and roommates are asleep. Because of the general mess of the surroundings you might be surprised to know that this little fella here actually built or repaired almost all this surprisingly nice furniture in this place. This species is tasteful, yet disorganized. I don't have an answer to this, but congrats. This is probably the best question ever asked on Reddit. This whole thread has made me laugh again and again. This bloke is in a completely relaxed state. Not a care in the world. Or crikey. The female is home and he forgot to pick up the groceries. He's in for it now. Steve and the camera crew quickly scamper to a corner, in a legs out arms out wide stance. Steve, looks like these two are about to have a bit of a tumble. Might wanna give them some space. MRS, U30 Helen's agrees begins hissing madly, teeth bared as she claws at his face. Mr. Thirsty Helen bounce hobbles a few meters away, head low. Now look at the size of that Sheila. If Yassi are in the wild, it's best to give the girl plenty of space, as she can rip ya to shreds. MR30 Helen rolls onto his back, submissively. Yassi it's that the female primarily brings the food back to air dependent cubs and mate. With claws like that ya really don't wanna get on the wrong side of air, that's for sure. I'm really upset that most of these comments boil down to I'm a fat, lazy incel that just sits at my computer all day. Steve would love each and every one of you and he'd have lots of interesting stuff to say about you. Even if you are a fat, lazy incel. Much more along the lines of jumping down on the couch next to you or throwing you in a back hug. Have to let the camera see your pretty face. Look at this right boat. This shiny coat means she's been jetting good brushes lately. Good girl. Eating well, aren't ya? Looks like she was here sunning herself. This particular species is known to lack vitamin D, so we're just gonna to put her right back in her lawn chair to keep warm. Crikey, what a find. Now looky what we ate here. This gorgeous specimen is genuinely happy. A real gem to find in its kind's age range. Whoa boy whoa, this one's got some confidence alright, and look at its gut. A true king here. I tell ya, a real chippy one this one. And X200B. I am happy and I know that's not cool here. PLZ don't downvote too much thank you semicolon. This animal's nipples are the size of small dicks, blimey. Pics for proof. Username checks out. Amazing. This lazy bastard hasn't done laundry in weeks, or checked his email. Are you okay? Oh have a look at this beaut. This magnificent specimen spends too much time watching The Office. Lol upvote cause I'm rewatching The Office as I write this. I just got to Dwight's Mussolini speech. Me, what the F you? Steve, check this fella out. He's struggling and struggling, he's a nervous fella alright. But he doesn't have too much muscle, or fat for that matter, so a skinny bloke like him doesn't take too long to subdue. Me, oh god please don't hurt me. Steve, it's alright, I ain't gonna hurt ya. This young fella never grew up with much interaction other than his immediate family, so that's why he's so scared and nervous. But don't feel bad for him, since leaving his natural habitat he's matured and is finding his new habitat, and sooner or later he's gonna find a nice Sheila. Me, oh fuck off you wait, what? Steve, see, once you give him some assurance he calms down, he shows his true nature. A calm, confident fellow who only wants to prove himself to his neighbors. But little does he know, he's got a fine future ahead of him, and he's done more than enough to prove himself. Up, thanks man. I appreciate it. Steve, not a problem. You're alright mate, release. This animal sleeps 12 hours a day and looks at different sizes of screens in the time he is awake. Now the trick to not being overpowered by this wild beast is to hold your breath. It emits a noxious fume that will render you unconscious if smelled or induce vomiting if tasted. Here we have a wild ewe capped in bravados. Once a bravados reaches sexual maturity, it engages in a mating ritual known as making mashups, resulting in Nickelback mixed with Mario Bros and Vaporwave. https://www.youtube.com/watch?vigcxfdvjyu closed bracket. Crikey, we got a big one. We've just caught a 220 pounds degenerate weeb from its habitat known as the bedroom. This fella eats instant noodles and rice only and sleeps with its figurines, Rem and Astolfo body pillows. When it do sleep, that is this kind of weeb with especially what's going on in the world. Can watch 3 seasons in a day and still have time to play games instead of finishing its homework. Well Pimar, let this beauty go back to its natural habitat now. Me. THX Stev. Ah, the North American neckbeard. He must have run out of chicken tenders and left his nest in search of more. They're fierce shitposters but lack necessary survival skills for the wild. Usually a Karen, their mother, will do the scavenging for them due to their lack of competence. Crikey. This one's a beaut. Now don't pay the thrashing any mind. This Sheila gets very confused when having to interact with any human, but if she broke free there wouldn't be any danger. She'd just stare awkwardly for a few minutes before scurrying off. Now what's really weird about this animal is the spikes. Clearly they were meant at some point for self-defense, but easing of selection pressures for this species has meant these spikes are almost completely pliant. Sometimes this poor Sheila's spikes can bend completely and stab her when she's trying to defend herself.